Шановні пані та панове.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start our next briefing. We are going to talk about the European Camp 2015, the first international project for the adolescents. Our speakers will be the Josef Zissels, Executive Vice President of the Congress of National Communities in Ukraine, Olexandr Delemenchuk, Head of the project European Camp 2015, and Natalia Bakulina, Camp Director. You have the floor. Good afternoon, dear participants. My name is Josef Zissels. I'm the head of the Congress of National Communities of Ukraine. For several years, we've been dealing with different projects. One of the major projects is the Camp Sources of Tolerance. This unique methodology of plunging into the national religious life of different peoples and ethnic groups, and prepared about and trained about 200 trainers who can work with this methodology, which we actually developed in 2001, and for 14 years we've been dealing with those camps, organizing, and we exported this methodology into Armenia and Georgia and Azerbaijan. These methods of plunging makes provision for a big load on the trainer or educator during the day, and we use that when developing a new project. This idea actually appeared last year when we started to invite to this camp children of IDPs from the Donbas area. The Crimean Tatars have been participating in our camps for a long time now. When we started to invite the IDP children from the Donbas area, it was very interesting to work with them, and we tried to relax them after what they survived or what they came through in their native parts, when they had to sit for a long time in the basements during the shelling. That was the birth of the idea of this camp. The education of European values is the core of our methodology. We're dealing with the national religious life. We try to establish a Transcarpathia. Once it was a culture, European atmosphere in the European environment, and we actually came up with a curriculum. We are going to hear about that. We have 25 children from our ADPs, and also 20 children who have the experience in the program of tolerance, and we are working since April on this project. It makes provision of different specific days. We are going to hear about those when children will be plunged in this or another aspect of European life. We are going to talk about that later. Over the period of 10 days, the children will obtain certain set of this information about the European life. Of course, it will not 100% impact their education, but they will at least get acquainted with the system of values, some of which are dominating in those places where they were born and started their life. And the most important that they have an alternative. They have a choice now. And this is our task, to offer them a choice, for them to choose their line of life and live where they wish, either to return to their native parts or to go to Russia, whatever. But they maybe can influence their parents to stay in the European country, about the future Ukraine, about which we all dream and towards which we are moving now. That's all as the introductory part.
Good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen. Natalia Bakulina, Director of European Camp. First of all, I would like to add that the importance of the project that we introduced the first time in Ukraine, it's caused by difference in civilization approaches to the formation of identification of citizens of Ukraine. As you understand, from Euro-Asian to European, where we are directing in our dreams and in our steps. Also, it is caused by geopolitical and social situation in the country, changes in reforms that are in modern state building and that are changing in the mentality of our people. And the goal of the project is to develop in teenagers skills of behavior on the basis of European values under conditions of this modernization of the system of education of Ukraine. Because it's important not just to put contact about Europe or how it is in Europe, but we want them to live according to European values. So to make those steps conscious and to make a new dynamic stereotype of behavior of them in a new modern society. As Josef told, the focus audience is our camp, 12, 17 years old kids of IDPs and graduates of international projects and social tolerance since 2000 we have. And a training that we initiated in the fall last year. We are building bridges instead of walls. That was for children of IDPs, and it was a very good rehabilitation, educative facility. Who our professionals, special trained of Congress of National Communities, Ukraine Center of Tolerance room. Our educators, our tutors, and they are from different NGOs of national ethnic minorities and advocacy groups, from advocacy groups, and our staff, and they are pedagogues, practical pedagogues, and they have pedagogical education, and they know all the methods of training and education. I would like to mention that the basic concept of our project is the concept of European dimension in the modern education system, which exists in Europe for more than 10 years. And the main principles of that concept, there are three of them: introduction of international standards and education on the base of main values, European traditions, and education, tolerance, respect to difference, and cooperation, respect to human rights and fundamental freedoms, and development of opportunities, a chance to live in a democratic society. So these are basic principles for us, and we come out of them creating our system of education and in our camp. I want to say briefly that the sense of education, since the concept of European choice concept, they include as language, economic, social, historic, and cultural and historic aspects, and that's why we're trying to take as the basic, that conceptual idea, and to initiate it during our 10 days of the camp since the 20th to 30th of August this year, in polyculture location, and it's in Mugachev district, Transkabettia region, which it happened historically. It's in European geographic part of our country, and we suggest during this 10 days to penetrate into that, to dive into those European topics, and on there will be opening and tour days, visits of Uzhhorod, and they will visit different institutions, and also closing of the camp. Those are general events to which we invite you. And also we develop topic-oriented, topic-based days, and my Olexandr Delemenchuk, he will tell you in details, like a day of democracy, elections, environment, culture, education, media education, literacy, solidarity, and volunteership. These days, the content is well developed, and it will be introduced according to the structure of the day, since the morning until late at night. And there will be also sport activities and sport programs on all the days, and also we develop tour routes and also they will be involved to volunteer activity according to the topical topics, and we are planning now that kids will work in Chinadillo. There's a dome, and also in the house for elderly in Mugacho methods. And Josef mentioned one of the main method is of diving into the topic of penetration, but also use interactive methods like a discussion, the talk show, problem situation modeling of real life situations according to the topics. And also we're using methods of projects, and we have creative workshops, competitions, etc., etc. And in the end, I want to say that we involve people into different forms of how to organize educative activity. There will be groups, there will start working groups in pairs, general frontal for the whole audience. There will be communication with other guests, representing different public and non-public institutions, different ethnic minorities, and experts, representatives from German embassy and others. If there is any question, I will be happy to answer. Thank you for your attention.
Good afternoon, my name is Olexandr Delemenchuk. I'm a methodologist of the European Camp, also the manager of this project. My colleagues almost mentioned everything, and Josef, the author of this idea, Natalia, who has been working for a long time with the children's camps of the Congress of National Communities, so I will be very brief. This is really a very unique project. I'm happy to be part of that, because first of all, this unique composition of children, those children are themselves became the public activists on the one hand, despite their young age, owing to their, let's say, stay in the camps and a source of tolerance, for example. On the other hand, they require the support and rehabilitation support on the part of their peers. Another important aspect of this project, in my opinion, is the fact that different people from different sectors, different volunteer circles, academic structures, etc., they gather together and start to create this idea of European camp, Europe in miniature, so to say. And let's say the teenagers are rather wise, despite the fact that they need support in their development, but they are really smart and wise, and they sometimes better can answer the different questions better than adults. In addition to that, this is a unique public experience. This means to me that I myself can, let's say, understand what is Europe is together with children. I mean, I can make it out. And where we are moving towards, and maybe we are bringing some European values here. Thank you, and I will be happy to answer the questions. Are there any questions or clarifications from the part of journalists? Please understand. Sergei Zlenka, can you please tell us who is providing the financial support? And has this message been tested somewhere in other countries, and if yes, where? Regarding financing or funding, we use different sources of financing. We have a big experience of fundraising, over 25 years of our activities in this project. Participating in this project are both private sponsors, which have to do something with us. Let's say we are talking about long-established, many-year, multi-year cooperation. The Renaissance Foundation, the German embassy already agreed to help us in our organization, our own budget of the Congress of National Communities in the Eurasian Jewish Congress and the International Jewish Congress. Also, we applied to, we addressed the embassy of the United States, Poland, and France, and some others, but so far we did not get the replies from them. Speaking about the similar project, unfortunately, we do not have any information whether some projects exist somewhere. We had approached different embassies. They are happy to help us with different things. We actually invited one teacher from Germany who attended our preparatory workshop in April, but she told us that they do not have anything like that. They live their European life. The only thing we are looking for migrants who move to Europe, together with language courses. They actually explained what kind of rules exist in Europe, but we did not get any answer. We approached some of the embassies asking for some expert help, but so far we did not get any reply. Well, please tell me what our criteria were when we selected the children. Were there many of those who wish to get there? Yeah, we have quite a number of those who wish to be part of that camp. Our capabilities gave us a chance to provide accommodation for 100 children. Mostly we are talking about the ADP children in the above mentioned age bracket, and my teachers and methodologists persuaded me that we should start from the age of 13 years, not earlier. I wanted to take children of 8 and 9 years of age. We're doing Project Tolerance. Also, we invite the elder children who already have experience of being in our camps, and they're going to help us out to create necessary atmosphere in the camps. We had the preliminary competition. We have a presentation in the internet, and every child who meets the criteria can participate in that contest. Tell something, some story, to draw something, make some drawing, explain how he or she understands European life, etc., etc. Based on the results of the contest, we have the interview, because children are different and we wish their children to understand well what we are talking about, so that there is no secret to them where their children are going. And we count on those parents who chose to move to other regions of Ukraine, not to Russia, as they already made this decision and step. So we want them to join the Ukrainian life and not the Russian one, and we count on that. And another point, the confidence in our experience in our camps, which we've been organizing for many years. And this is another step towards those methods which we are going to introduce in those camps. Any other questions or clarifications? If none, thanks a lot for your presentation, and we wish you every success in holding that camp. The next briefing we will have at 1400. I see. As Natalia said, we kindly invite you August 20th on the Gride Spa, just so that you could see the